Hi Trey, how you doing?
Doing good.
So I know you had a couple other teams pursuing you. What made the Bengals the right choice for you?
Well, I feel like the stars just aligned. My wife is studying for her doctorate in pharmacy, 3 hours south of Nashville. So that was really special that it's a family-run organization, and it's blue collar, hardworking, loves football. That's everything that's about me. I can't wait to work hard for this organization and make this contract worth every penny.
You played with Von Bell down in New Orleans. Now you joining forces again. Did he help recruit you at all?
Yeah, just that speaks volume to what they're trying to build here. Working with Vaughn down there was special, and that he's a captain here shows that they respect, his voice and his opinion. So like him being here is just it's something that goes to show that there's more than football that they're recruiting. It's a locker room, it's a lifestyle, and you got guys checking their ego at the door, and that's where you build great teams. They great talents all over the league, but there's not a lot of teams that are winning. So we're going to get this going here and get the right people in the door and move forward.
Trey, what about the Saints that you bring and Vaughn has already brought here that you think contributes to a winning culture?
Well, that kind of speaks to it's not really a Saints thing. It's a locker room thing, and it's on the players, it's on the coaches, it's on the organization. As they're putting those pieces together, I can see a very similar vibe happening here, since that's all I know. So with them doing a family and playing for your brother and loving your brother, that's where you get this Saints-like atmosphere, and you get this very special moments that you're not going to forget. And that's why I speak so highly of Cam, DeMario, and Malcolm Jenkins. And I learned how to lead from those guys, and I've taken that on as my own, and I'm excited to bring it to this environment.
Thank you.
I learned some about your journey in high school in Florida, from linebacker to defensive end to manager to safety to tight end. What did you just learn from that whole journey and that sequence of events?
So it teaches you a lot about the game of football, and you're never bigger than the game. And if a coach asks me to play, tight end or free safety, it's a yes sir moment. If I got to play special teams here, that's something that I'm prepared to do. It's not, you're never bigger than the game, and the second you are, somebody else is hungrier than you are. And don't plan on being passed up. I'm got a strong desire that's internal. I'm not motivated by contract value. I'm not motivated by fame or loyal. I'm a loyal player. I play for the guys next to me. I love the game of football, and I love the camaraderie that comes with it.
Hey Trey, when you're in a contract year, do you start looking around when you're going to play teams on the road? I mean, I know you're focused on the game, but is that in the back of your mind at all? Do you start looking around at situations, at scenarios? Do you talk to other players, or is that something that totally waits till the off season?
It completely waits. There's nothing more important than the next win. And after we were eliminated in the playoffs, I needed a good month to decompress and let go. And I was fortunate enough to be, told that it wasn't early. I was told it probably wasn't going to work out with me going back. So I had a good idea that, I was going to have a home somewhere else, but I wasn't thinking about that until, free agency started to get some buzz.
Hey Trey, how you doing? Jeff Hobson with Bengals.com. You had spoken. You've got some knowledge of what's gone on here in the past. You said you watched a lot of football. What do you remember from the Bengals, from those teams, the guys that you watched that you remember?
Well, they were tough. Like I said, they're blue collar, and we were growing up. We loved football and the helmets and stuff. So we would always play with these miniature helmets, my brother and I, and we'd pick which teams and whatnot. And they always seemed like if you pick the Bengals helmet, you're going to win. When they were going up against the Browns, the Ravens, and Pittsburgh. So they're playing tough. They know how to win. you know, and we look forward to getting this organization back on track.
Trey, your wife is an athlete in her own right. The footwork that's required in fencing, I mean, did she ever give you any pointers or talk to you about footwork as far as your craft?
As a competitor, you know, we're always getting after it. If it's not, you know, bowling or ping pong or something like that, now we're getting into golf. So, you know, as much as I wish I could take coaching from her, we always seem to be going head to head, and I would not pick up a fencing foil and go up against that woman. She's you might stick me a couple times.
Thank you.
Trey, have you met Joe Burrow yet? I know he was obviously down there when you were with the Saints.
Yeah, I met him last night. Great guy. Checks his ego at the door. I think that's something that I think we're getting ready to really define that as a program here. No, like I said, nobody's bigger than the game. I think nobody exemplifies that more than Joe.
Obviously, when Tom Brady joined Tampa Bay, you got a shot at him. You faced him 3 times last year. What did it feel like to sack him a couple times and get after him like you did?
Well, he's just another quarterback. I mean, he's a guy that is an objective to take off the field and, you know, affect him and get him off his spot, just like it is for you know, playing Lamar Jackson twice this year. So it's going to be something like that. Every quarterback's different and unique, but there was nothing more or less special about sacking him.
Trey, Ben Baby from ESPN. Did a bunch of y'all end up going out to dinner last night? Is that how that worked? What did y'all end up doing?
It's just one of those things that you know, you schedule it. I know a lot of people were saying it's like a recruiting visit. It kind of felt similar to a few days, you know, meeting the coaches, you know, having great conversations. And, you know, the chemistry, I'd say, between Mike and Cheeto, we were sitting at the table, and my wife and Mike's wife there was something special and something to be there. Like it's a different feel to just say on day one that, you know, we're having conversations like we've known each other for 5 years. So it was really special.
Did you end up getting the Burro Steak as well? What'd you end up ordering?
My wife and I just we go with the fillets and sautéed mushrooms. We're pretty cookie cutter when we go out for steak. So
I know that Joe Burrow has a tremendous amount of respect and admiration for Drew Brees. Did he pepper you with Drew Brees questions? And do you see any similarities between the two?
We obviously talked about Louisiana a little bit. That's something we both have familiar ground and talking for the first time. But I look forward to talking about competing and leading and all these other conversations that will come down the line. Now being a Bengal here, so I'm super excited for the future. I'm super excited to compete, and I'm ready to get after it.
There's so much talk last year about how the pandemic was a challenge and a hurdle for players. Did it help you at all? Did it contribute at all to your breakout season where maybe, you know, you don't have as much to do and you studied film more? Did you think it was beneficial in any way for you?
Well, it was just another year. I'd say what it would do is adversity exposes a man, you know, and it all it did was exemplify my hard work and my effort and my thing, you know. I fuel off of things that are internal, you know. Some guys might fuel off of, you know, fans in the stadium or the energy of momentum and stuff like that. But I fuel off desire to be the best Trey Hendrickson I can be and show organizations what I'm about.
Any more questions for Trey?
Yeah, real quick, at the restaurant last night, did you guys have a private room, or were you guys sitting out in the open? Were fans coming up and talking to you guys through the whole thing?
We were just in a regular room. It was okay. Nothing private. Somebody had a birthday, so we all got to sing there for a brief second. So it was something special. You know, I like the atmosphere already of Cincinnati. It's very, like I said, family run. You know, as my wife and I are going to start exploring the city here shortly.
Thank you, Trey.
Thank you.
Trey, have you talked to Sam Hubbard at all?
I met him last night too. I think he was at a different table, but all I could see was the desire to win in his eyes as well. And, it's going to be an effort to get to the quarterback, and he's got to beat me there. So I look forward to competing with him and all types of way. And, and every day, you're training with defense on defensive ends and individuals and stuff. And that's where champions are truly made.